The leaves still show signs of last night's rain as the sun rises on our farm near Furukawa, Japan. It's about 7 o'clock when Mother wakes us for school. My name is Seichi, and I live with my parents, my 2 sisters, and our grandparents. After breakfast, we all have chores to do before we leave for school. Haruna feeds our pet rabbit. Grandfather sweeps the yard. I feed the chickens and bring in the eggs. Grandmother and Mother open the greenhouses so the air inside doesn't get too hot during the day. I'm watering squash seeds we planted a few days ago. At night, we close the greenhouses to keep in the warm air. That way we can grow vegetables like this all winter so we can sell them at the market in Furukawa. Mother is in charge of growing and selling our vegetables. Grandmother is in charge of growing and selling flowers and bonsai. Bonsai are trees that are kept small but are cut and shaped to look like big trees. We have lots of old trees and plants on our farm because our family has lived on this land for 14 generations. We sell bamboo shoots from our grove. We cut the shoots when they are young and tender. People usually cook bamboo with other vegetables and sometimes with meat or fish. Our area is famous for the kind of rice we grow. It gets moist and sticky when it's cooked. We plant rice in fields that are flooded with water. Usually we use rice planters like this. The young plants are grown so that the machine can plant one at a time. Rice planters are very expensive and most farms are small. So farmers often pay someone else to plant their fields by machine. All rice used to be planted by hand, but now most farmers just add plants in places the machine missed. When the plants grow larger, we drain the water from the fields. Then, in the late summer, when the kernels look like this, the rice is ready to harvest. The kernels have an outer layer, or husk, that's removed before the rice is sold. After we finish our chores and change into our school clothes, Haruna and I walk to school with our friends from nearby farms. Our older sister, Chinatsu, went earlier because she's a crossing guard. I'm in 4th grade. Our teacher is taking roll to see who's absent today. This morning we're studying Japanese. One kind of written Japanese is based on Chinese characters. Each character stands for a whole idea or thing, such as house or water. We have to memorize about 1,800 characters in order to graduate from high school. We also use another kind of character or letter to write Japanese. 50 characters are combined in different ways to make words that can be sounded out. When it's break time, we end the class with a bow to our teacher. Students take turns serving lunch in our classroom. before we start, we say we're grateful for the meal we're about to eat. We keep toothbrushes at school so we can brush after lunch. After school, Haruna has a snack while Mother starts rice for dinner tonight. Scrubbing the rice for a long time improves the taste. We have rice at most meals and usually have several other dishes to eat with it, especially in the evening. Most people use a rice steamer. Mother says we're lucky to have our own vegetables, chicken, and eggs, so I know they're always fresh. Grandmother loves to watch sumo wrestling. Every other month there are sumo tournaments on TV. Whoever pushes the other wrestler to the floor or out of the ring wins, so being heavy can be an advantage. The wrestlers eat a special diet to help them gain weight. They live with their teachers in their training school from the time they're young until they retire. I'm doing my homework. Kids our age usually have 30 minutes to an hour of homework each day. Then Haruna and I help get dinner ready. After that, we have some time to play before we eat. My sister Chinatsu finishes setting the table. People in Japan think it's important for food to look as good as it tastes. And grandmother helps with the cooking. Everyone usually eats together in the evening, except Father, who doesn't get home from work until 8 or 9 at night. We're rolling rice in thin sheets of nori, which is a sea plant. It's easy because the rice sticks together. For a special occasion, Mother sometimes makes sushi, where she rolls vegetables or fish in with the rice. Before we go to bed, my job is to make sure the tub is clean. We have a special routine at night. First, in order to get clean, we take a shower. Then, in order to relax, we have a nice, long soak. When we're ready for bed, Mother helps us roll out our mattress or futon. During the day, they're kept in the closet so we can use our room to play or study. Our farmhouse is bigger than most city homes in Japan. It's Saturday morning, so we only have a half day at school, and Father will come home from work at noon. Father works at the agricultural cooperative in Furukawa, studying how to grow crops better. Here he's measuring rice plants grown in different ways to discover how to improve the quality. Mother washes clothes in the washing machine. But when it's not raining, instead of using the clothes dryer, she likes to hang them in the courtyard to dry. Mother often makes noodles at noon because they're fast and we love them. When we eat food in bowls like soup or noodles, we bring the bowl up to our mouths and scoop the food in with chopsticks. It's okay to be noisy. Grandfather is going to his tango class. The tango is a dance from South America. First, the class learns the steps without music. Then they practice with the partner. Finally, when they know the steps, they try it with music. After lunch, we all go shopping for Sports Day, which is tomorrow. The whole family spends the day at school. We'll take a picnic lunch. So today we get to pick our favorite foods to bring. Food is expensive, so we shop carefully. As a special treat, we also get to go to the candy store. It's hard to decide what to get with so much to choose from. Shopping is taking too long for Haruna. She's run out of energy. Later in the afternoon, we're invited to our cousin's engagement ceremony. Young people often use matchmakers or go-betweens to help them meet someone they might like to marry. If a couple likes each other, they date for a while to get to know each other better. If they decide to get married, some couples have a traditional engagement ceremony like this.
Excellent.
The couple and their families drink rice wine called sake to symbolize the new ties between the families.
Excellent.
Then everyone has a wonderful meal to celebrate. Today's the big day we've been waiting for, Sports Day. Our teachers have set up tents around the playing fields for our families to sit during the day. The ceremonies start off with firecrackers. Classes are divided into 4 teams, with students from every class. The teams compete against each other to see which team can win the most points during the day. My team is yellow. Everyone does warm-up exercises before we start the games. We have all kinds of contests and races. That's Chinatsu out in front. Students are putting up the finish line. Other students quickly take the winners to receive their awards before the next race starts. The 6th graders plan Sports Day with help from the teachers. They try to have something happening all the time. Even the youngest kids participate. We jumped rope in exercise class, so we learned a special routine for today. The little kids learned a routine too. We all like this contest. Whichever team gets the most balls in the basket wins. To see who wins, each team throws a ball in the air as the announcer counts. The other teams have run out of balls, but my team is still throwing balls into the air. That means we won. At the end of the day, our team has the most points. We're tired and happy as we leave the field to go home. We don't even want to watch TV tonight. Good night.
It's about 6 o'clock when my parents get up to get ready for work. Father always reads the paper after breakfast. Japanese newspapers and books are printed so that we turn pages from left to right and read from right to left, just the opposite of English. Father leaves for work at about 7 o'clock. I get to sleep until 7:30. My name is Ayako Yano, and I'm 9 years old. I live with my parents and grandmother in Sendai, Japan. Mother, grandmother, and I usually have breakfast together. Today we're having eggs, bread, grapefruit, and coffee for breakfast. By the time we clean up, I'm more awake. I have a few minutes to watch TV before I have to leave for school. Mother and Father work together at their office downtown, but before she leaves for work, Mother does some laundry and reads the paper. My grandparents built this house about 30 years ago, and we added on to it 3 years ago. Our family is unusual because we live in my mother's home. It's more common that families live with the husband's mother and father, especially in the past. But as cities have become more crowded and houses and apartments more and more expensive, houses and apartments are often too small for everyone to live together. Mother drives her car to work at about 8:30. In Japan, we drive on the left side of the road. Most people take a bus or train to work, but Mother needs to use her car during the day. Mother uses a parking garage near her office. Mother leaves her car in a garage with a big revolving lift. She and Father run a company that helps people get official papers they need to buy or sell property. Mother can often walk to the places she goes to pick up and deliver papers. Today, she's going to the government building where official documents are kept. But she often has to drive to a business or bank. Then she gets her car out of the garage. Mother and Father's business is in downtown Sendai. And Mother likes to walk around the city at lunchtime. A shop near their office makes official seals. Each family has a seal or sign carved just for them. They dip the seal in ink and stamp the family sign on letters and documents, instead of writing their name. While Mother and Father are at work, I'm at school. We each have a locker where we keep our indoor shoes. This morning we're practicing our cheering for Sports Day, which is next week. We'll also perform this traditional dance from Okinawa. Okinawa is one of Japan's outer islands. It's also a prefecture, which is like a state. While we practice, cooks are making lunch in the school kitchen. When we come back to our classrooms, lunch is delivered there, and students take turns serving and cleaning up. Today we're having squash soup, rice, and pork slices. In the afternoon, we take a math test. Then each of us works on an electric car we're putting together from kits for science class. After school, we take turns cleaning the school. Then most students take part in some kind of club after school. There are a lot to choose from. This club is learning to communicate with deaf people using sign language. The cooking club is voting on what to make next week. They're tied between pancakes and French fries. So the group decides to make pancakes one week and French fries the next. This is the cartoon club. Comic books, animation, and cartoons are very popular in Japan. Even the adults like them. There's a science club, a sewing club, and all kinds of sports. When I get home at about 3, I usually have about a half hour of homework to do. Today, we're supposed to look at our family's water bill to figure out how much water we used and how much it cost. When I finish my homework, I practice the piano. I can push a button that silences the piano so that only I can hear it in my earphones. That way it won't bother the neighbors. Today I have a calligraphy lesson in our neighbor's home. Calligraphy is making beautiful Japanese characters with a brush and ink. We each fill 15 sheets of paper. When we finish, our teacher makes a spiral if the characters are right. If they're not, she shows us how to improve them. When Mother gets home from work, we go shopping. In order to save space, tall buildings often have many different stores, with parking on the roof. Our grocery store is on the 6th floor. We're buying vegetables for dinner. This is daikon, a kind of Japanese radish. When we get back, Mother and Grandmother put the heater under the table, covered by a warm quilt. When we sit at the table, we stay toasty warm. While Grandmother watches sumo wrestling, I play in the garden. Grandfather started this garden when the house was built. Now that he has died, Mother takes care of it. Mother is making dinner. She's cutting up mushrooms and fried tofu to put into miso soup. Then she adds the daikon we bought at the store. Tonight we're having bamboo shoots, yams, and mushrooms cooked in soy sauce, rice, tofu, cooked greens, and miso soup. Grandmother, Mother, and I usually eat at about 6 o'clock, but Father doesn't get home from work until 8 or 9 at night. When he comes home, we all greet him at the door.
Hi. Hi.
After he changes clothes and eats, he likes to watch TV in his study. When it's time for bed, Mom helps me wash and dry my hair. Good night.